Hello everybody, it's Todd from Toad Painting. So today we're going to be working on Huckleberry from Real Raiders Infinity. Sorry, just seeing little pieces I missed. So just recap, we are doing a contest till the end of this month. To enter, all you need to do is chat while I'm streaming, and that's it. Just need to do it once. You can say hi, you can ask questions, as much or as little as you want. And the prizes are, oh hey, how's it going, Papa Juliet? Zulu. So the prizes are $100 worth of credit from Rain City Hobbies, which is my other project. An hour session. Was it hour? It was an hour of painting. On basically what was it again? Painting tutoring. I forgot the word. Or like an advanced quality miniature that I would probably paint on stream. So here's this guy, just another chibi dude. That's good. Good to hear, Zulu. I'm glad you enjoy the show and maybe learn something. I learned something. I learned a new word. Tutoring. Alright.
We learned orchestral last week.
Yes. So I'm just making sure there's no little imperfections in the mold. I'm just going to cut out anything, because it kind of ruins the silhouette. Because you want, like, especially for something like this, he's very it's a cartoony model, right? So he's kind of got very dull features. It's all like very smooth and very like bold, and so you have like very small little features, like little pieces of paint or flecks. It kind of like draws your eye to it, so it kind of ruins the model if you have a bunch of little flecks, because they really stand out, especially something like this, I guess, smooth and not very detailed compared to other miniatures, because, well, it's a chibi model, right? So you want it nice and smooth and flat, nothing too textury. Alright, so this guy is wearing a purple vest, white sleeves, red hat, and I can't even see I think he's wearing red pants. I can't really see in the card, but I'll go for that. So what do you say in Zulu? Don't worry, you should just try. I was never a good painter my first time either. I have many years of being very terrible and having very, like, what do you call it again, chunky and splotty miniatures, just like the paint was too thick, and so just like not very smooth, you might say, but it just takes practice. I mean, the first time you do anything, you're not gonna be very good,
unless you're Marie Grimer.
Okay, well, if you do things that are adjacent to, like if you paint not miniatures but you paint other things and do color theory, then yes, you might have a head start. Okay, I think this is the last little bit here, and then, alright, it's very important to make sure your miniatures have no mold lines. It really ruins the overall look. Alright, give them a little dusting, and then we can start going. Alright, so to start, I think, let's see now, what color do I want to do? I guess I want to do this vest, and I can do the white, and I'll do the flesh. Okay, so let's do his vesty vest. It's kind of dark purple, but I'm going to make it a little brighter, just because I like it brighter. And it helps show details more. So if it's like a giant dark blob, and it's not going to look very nice. So, lighter is better. Can you guys see my palette good? Come on, stupid thing. There we go. No, I like both. Chibis are just interesting because they're just quite different from other stuff, and I just I I just basically did some chibis for one person, and it basically just snowballed from there. Because we had played Super Giant Explorer, so I just did some of that, and then some of the people asked me to do some more chibi for them, and people just kept on asking. And then I did the Golden Cobalt for the Gen Con a couple years ago. I got second. Could have got first though. It was close. They really liked mine. I did a Kingdom Death Twilight Night crossover chibi. She had a nice swirly pattern and a custom sculpted base.
Well, and then you painted my little scythe for the development.
Oh yes,
too.
and I also did I also did that.
But there's so much chibi on the stream right now just because we have a giant chibi commission.
Yeah, just chipping away at this one. Okay. But it's nice to do something different, right? Because, you know, variety is the spice of life and everything. It's also good to practice because it's very different painting than other models because it's very smooth and sometimes you just gotta make your own texture, something like that. Especially when it's a little smooth like this guy. So it's just good practice in general. Okay.
And if you make a mistake on them, they strip really, really well.
Yeah. Well, the good thing about these miniatures is they're very durable. The plastic they use. Not great for holding detail, but it's very durable. Which I guess what you want for like a board game miniature. Okay. Maybe I'll start doing his hat as well. He's got like a very dark red hat. He seems very dark, this guy. Just in general. Very warm and dark. Do his hat and his pants at the same time. Oops, sorry. I'm trying a different camera. I'm zooming it in, and so I may be a little off the point on occasion, or a lot. So just yell at me if I'm not on the right area.
So apparently for my little scythe, you can buy just the miniatures in the game for about $17 for them.
Oh, for like all.
For the whole set.
It's like 20 or 30 miniatures?
I think it's 13 or 14.
Oh, it doesn't come with the duplicates, I guess? Or is that with the duplicates?
That is with the duplicates, I think.
Then why is there an odd number?
That's why I think it's possibly 14.
Oh, okay.
But those would be really great for like learning to paint chibis.
Yeah, it's quite
They're
cheap
really
too.
nice models.
But Impact Miniature also does some really cool ones if you like different, like they have a lot of variety. They have like Greek mythos, they have Cthulhu, they have like what's that again? Like Dick Tracy kind of style miniatures. Like lots of cool. So much to do.
And they print all the capsule chibi stuff too.
Yeah, which I got where I have the Knoll and the
That's also the same designer as my little scythe.
yeah, this is that Knoll guy I like. I'll paint him eventually. I'm a big fan of like monster chibis. Humans are okay, but I'm a big fan of the monsters. Does he have white cuffs on his pants?
I still say you have to stream painting the Witch Queen.
The Witch Queen.
That's the pumpkin carriage.
Oh yeah, that should be fun. He's just huge and take a while. Problem is she's pre-built, so I don't know if I'd have to take her apart to paint her. Just because those pumpkins and it's very intricate. Okay. Okay, back to the purple because I need a second coat. I probably should have started later. It's too dark right now. Oh, I think the saturation is also quite... Okay, let me just change the settings for this thing. Sorry. It's a little... My hand looks really faded, doesn't it? Maybe try the white balance.
Oh, that's really...
Yeah, I'm just... Okay, maybe not affect that.
Oh, that's better.
This?
No, well... Okay, that's better.
This? This right here.
Like that. Nope. See, because you're like 5 seconds ahead of me, so this is now worse than one of the previous options.
Yeah, it's just... Oh well.
It's just the contrast between the white and the...
Yeah. But even the red looks just like...
I'd say put the base coats down and then worry about it.
Yeah. It just looks a little... Let's see. Maybe that. I'll leave it at this, I guess. Yes, she is. Okay. So... He's got dark brown hair. Okay. I think I'm just going to do more white for the purple. So I'm going to just bring it up. It's going to make it a little pastel-y, but we'll try and give some more saturation afterwards. I just want to get the lighting done first. Okay. I just want the camera to look kind of similar to what I'm actually looking at.
I do think the new zoom is way better.
Okay. I just have less area to play with because like if I go like this, it's like off camera. But yeah, it just takes a little bit getting used to. Oh, it's...
You just need to put like a sticker down so you can really see.
Yeah, I have a little red dot, but it's hard to...
Do you want one of the cat stickers?
Sure.
I put them some.
Okay, let me just do another base coat on the red while the purple is drying. It's always important to do multiple coats for your base coat. Because you can kind of see how like the hat's got like a little bit of white streaks and stuff like that. Because it's not thick enough. But your first coat should never be too thick because you'll have weird texture. Okay, so this is a Score and Red base, I think it's called. The red I'm using right now, it's a P3 paint, which I highly recommend. You got a sticker? Alright. Thanks. Alright, so I got a cat sticker from Cat to mark where my center of my board is. So hopefully it's easier. Okay. Maybe this purple is dry. dry enough. He's got some like straps on his chest, so I'm not gonna worry about them, even though it's kind of making the model look kind of terrible right now. It looks like a weird splotch on his chest. Okay, let's go for the last highlight. And then I'm going to kind of darken it a bit when I do so. Recontrast. Right now it's very pastel-y, kind of washed out, which is not what you want. So yeah. And I'm just going to go back and shade it with some purple. I may go do some black too and some more recessed areas, but let's figure out first what it looks like. Okay. Not too bad, but I might need a little bit of black. It'll look much better once it's dry. It's a little too shiny right now. Okay. Okay, a little splotchy part right here. Just need a... Okay, I'm gonna go back with a bit of black once it's dry. And just accentuate the creases, you might say. Just to give it more definition. Because it's very dark purple. Okay, let's do some red now. So, I'm going to shade the red. I'm going to take some black and add it to the red, and then shade it. I'm going to get a kind of a pretty terrible brush right here and just use it to blend. Because I don't need a good brush for this kind of part. And he's got a holster on his hip. I can't see on the card. I think I might make it black. It's hard to tell what it is though on the actual mini. Oops. Okay. First shade of the pants is done. Now let's do the hat. I also made it I couldn't really see what the pants color were either, so I just made it red as well. Kind of give it the same kind of theme. You don't want to make them too like colorful. I mean, all shades of the rainbow. Give him like some warm colors to work with. He seems like a warm guy. A warm cheater. These are the purple, which is, well, purple is actually kind of neutral. It's both a warm and cool color, but his hat is very warm. A deep warm color, so.
So the Citadel holder is really nice because it's very cost effective compared to all the other options on the market. It's about $10.
Yeah, it was pretty cheap. It's one of the reasons why I got it, because I never actually had a model holder before, so I just bought this cheap one to test it out, and it's not too bad. I mean, it doesn't work for like big stuff, but there also is a bigger holder for that, but it kind of helps you don't rub the paint off your models. There are like more expensive and extravagant ones that have like, because I always like to put pressure right here, and some of them actually have like a little loop that goes like this, and it's a little metal bar. Basically, you can put your finger down instead of touching the model, which is maybe what I'll get next. But this is just a test one.
Game Envy has a nice, slightly more expensive one with the hoop over the top.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a better name than hoop. It's got like a.
And they sponsor the Sagebrush.
Yes, they're good guys. Anybody who sponsors the Sagebrush is a good guy. Okay. Now I'm going to take this black and just do the creases on the guy's vest. So he's got a crease here. Let's see now. Okay. I might go back with the purple and just do a little more of a highlight in some parts. For 3D printed models, I don't know if like it depends on the material you're using, because some of them can be very brittle. So this one's like very durable. I don't know, like if you drop it, some of the 3D printed stuff can be very, it doesn't stress well in certain directions, from what I know. Okay. I don't think a good job of this part, so I'm just gonna go back and maybe make it look a little better. Okay. Oh, okay. That's cool. Okay. So let's just do one final touch up on the red before I do some highlighting on it. I would like to do two coats of two brush blending for shading. Like a thin one and a thicker one. This one's a little thinner, I guess. Just helps blend it. Okay. Oops, this is not very good right here. Okay, let's go back to the red. Scorn red and just get some, make those folds look a little more smoother. Reclaim some of these areas. Basically brightening up some of the edges and stuff so it has clear definition. Let's see. Especially on the edge of the hat. There we go. Just if you shade it a bit too much, just good to reclaim it. So now, let's see. For the top of the hat, it's kind of boring and flat. I don't know if I should try and give it some texture, or should I just try and keep it flat, or should do like a very thin highlight of something. Let's go back and do the black like I did on the purple. Just do a very black on, like he has like a zipper area. I'm just gonna add a little bit of folds in him. Oh, he's got a holster too. I'm just gonna black that out for now. I think I make his holster black as well, so I guess I'll just do it all one go. There we go. The gun is also black too. I should probably do this at the same time. Actually, no, I'll do gray, the gun, and then I'll do a black wash over it. Okay. And he's got like a gold belt, so I'm just gonna leave that for now, because he's got some trim on his he's got the little straps there, which are also gold, so I'm gonna do it at the same time as that, which would be like a bloodstone and sulfuric yellow to make the gold I like to do. It's gonna be non-metallic gold. Going to paint the seam on this vest, and then I'm also just going to black out the straps. Okay. I'm just going to do a little bit of highlight. I'm probably going to do yellow, actually. Here we go. With that red for the highlight color. Just a little bit of yellow. Okay, let's try it. I think this is the right color combination I want. Yeah. Because it won't make it pink, it will make it like a different, almost like a flesh color, but still help keep the red. I just want to use it for the edges, some edge highlighting and some creases and stuff, especially around that. I used way too little yellow. I guess it was just for a test too, so I'm just gonna make more of it now, and then I'm gonna do the rest of this red, like the edge of his hat. Okay, that's way too much. So just doing the front and the back of his head. And then this part, I'm just gonna get some mixing medium actually for this part. I'm trying to go for a very light highlight, very smooth with a little bit of mixing medium. And get the area wet and with a little mixing medium, and then apply the paint and then blend it. It will take 1 or 2 more coats, depending how smooth I want it. Okay. I can't really work with that more right now. It's got to dry. It's not as smooth as I like, but it's only the first coat. And the trick is to go back over with the red again and give it a... I'm sorry. Let me do 1 second, and I'll get a look at the chat. Okay. Okay, what'd you say, Zulu? Pretty much any mini, like, anything, like, any kind of handling, like if you're transporting and stuff like that, any kind of thing will like eventually wear away the paint and the varnish and stuff like that. The only way to really keep a miniature like from any kind of like tarnish is like in a glass case where you never touch it. And so like I use, for all my stuff when I transport them, I always use foam and stuff like that, and it works fine. I mean, it's unavoidable. It's one of the problems, because no varnish will keep your miniature like perfect. It will never make it pristine. So.
But that said, it's not like it's an immediate issue.
You know, this will take years. Like if you're, and so, yeah, it's not a huge issue. Like it's also normally around the edges, so it's not a huge amount of touch up to do if you care about that kind of stuff. So I wouldn't worry about it right away. Especially if you use a good varnish too, you can kind of notice it's kind of going, because you'll see the, because I do gloss and then dull coat, so the dull coat removes all the shininess of the gloss, but the gloss is what really protects the miniature, and so you can kind of see that if it starts getting really shiny, it means the dull coat's wearing away. So, kind of get early warning system. Though the gloss coat will take longer to wear away than the dull.
Definitely more on the years timeline on things wearing away in a case.
It depends. Depends on the miniature. Like if it's really big, it's got a lot more force on it, and so things will wear faster. If it's,
has lots of pointy points.
Yeah, points, edges, more points, the faster they wear away. Also, it depends on the miniature itself, what kind of material it is. Some quality, it's like metals, for example, will bend and stuff like that, and will basically, because like the paint will start wearing away at the edges where it starts like bending. So let's see now, right here. If your model is like this and then it bends a bit like this, and you push it back, the paint around your like the bends will start wearing away. You'll have like these little flakes of paint, which is not what you want. But just be careful of that. Okay. Okay, I'm not liking this part right here. I gotta fix it. A little better. Alright. I'm just gonna fix the blending on his hat, and I'm gonna say that's done. And it's on to the white part, which is his sleeves and his, I guess, the cuffs of his boots. So I'm just trying to reblend it in here. I always find that you get a better smoother blend when you're working down. So if you go from a light color to darker, you always get a much smoother blend, which I'm doing right now. So it's quite subtle, but it's fine. Okay, and then let's see. Okay. So now for all his white parts, I'm just gonna do like a bit of a creamy gray, a very light creamy gray, and work it up to white. So this is the lightest I want it, and I'm just gonna go and just block out all those areas where he's gonna have a white undershirt, as well as white underpants. I don't know what it's called. Like right here, he's got like boots, and then he's got like a underboot. I don't know what it's called. A spat. Yes. Though I don't really do too much touching up. Only time I had to do touch-ups when people like drop my miniatures. So yeah. Or when
someone's toddlers got into them?
Yes, I've had people as toddlers. Also we had armies being stolen, getting tossed around and then picked and found, and then the miniatures don't really fare so well when they're tossed in the back of a Jeep. Haphazardly upside down for weeks at a time. Yeah. I don't recommend that. Apparently people's back of their cars get stolen a lot because like if it's a big miniature case, it looks like a camera bag, and those are worth a lot apparently. So don't leave them in the back of your car. If it looks big and heavy and expensive, people will take it. Okay, I'm just gonna so he's got a brown. Okay, let's do all those brown bits. So like on his hat and stuff. So also these straps. I have a camera for all my miniature taking, and yes, it's kind of similar bag size and style, except it looks like it's like the miniature bag that I carry like all my armies in when I go play in tournaments and stuff like that. It looks like a big camera bag, so it looks like a camera with all the attachments and everything, so it looks really expensive. It's like a bigger version of my camera bag.
Do not leave things like that in your vehicle.
No, people are terrible and greedy. Okay. Okay. She's got very dark hair and just like has like no like highlighting whatsoever on the concept art. It's like a flat brown hair, which is kind of annoying. But I guess I'll highlight the way I want it to.
His art kind of struck me as different than all of the other ones.
Yeah, it's very smooth. It's not very like, yeah, it doesn't look cartoony. It looks like a boring picture. Lots of blur and stuff like that, or not bloom. Sorry, like it's white, and his flesh has a lot of bloom on it for some stupid reason. Okay. Now he's got a mustache. Probably do most of the mustache after I've done the paint, but I'm just gonna block it in. Or after I've done his flash, but I'm just gonna block in where it is. It's kinda hard to tell where the mustache starts and ends. I'm just gonna make sure I have it. There we go. So, let's see. Okay, I think the white is dry now, so I'm gonna go and highlight all the white. And he's got some like armbands. So I'm gonna do that brown, but I have to do that after the white's all done. I'm kind of giving it little strokes and not that blended, just because I want to kind of simulate the folds in his shirt. So I'm kind of deliberately making like that, because all like fans out from his like crease in his elbow, right? Make him a little more interesting. He's not very interesting. He's like a very generic card dealer, this guy. Okay. Now I'm gonna do the pure white. Oh, sorry, I forgot to do his collar. There's always something I miss on this guy. Okay. Let's do some pure white. Make sure it's dry, and then I'm gonna maybe do a couple layers of pure white. Oh, forgot his collar. Oh, forgot his collar and his boots. Let me just remedy that. I'm not too worried about his boots. I'm just going to do like straight white. It's a very small area, so I'm not too worried about the blending on that part. Okay, I'll do a second coat of the brown. Open the window first. It's a little warm right now. Okay. So before I do all the brown again, I'm going to just do his armbands. For unknown reason, they had little straps for their biceps. For some reason. Mainly for dealers, I guess. Was it for like holding cards, maybe? Okay. Oh. Did I rub away paint there? I must have. Or did I... I must have sprayed him with white? Oh, I did spray him with white. Or accidentally got some brush where he's not supposed to be. Can I rub away that white stuff? The white paint. Kind of. How about here? It's a very thin coat of white. I don't know how I missed that. Whatever. I'll probably fix it later. It's not too bad. Okay. Well, this is the epic music channel for Pretzel. So. I thought the other ones were a little, some of the music channels were a little too distracting, and this one's, I don't know, decent for what it is. Let's see, what else?
What's really funny is Steven is just skinny yet. So it's just like the mustache on the white.
He's a white guy.
The floating mustache.
Yes, the floating mustache. He has no eyes either. Okay, so let's do the brown. And the brown's going to be highlighted with some moral white base. I might do the hair a different highlight color. Might just do the moral white, which is like a pure white. So it looks different from the rest of his brown parts. So I'm just going to define the borders of some areas. I'm just going to use this brown and just like have a nice solid border between his shirt and his vest. Same with, yeah, it's pretty much everywhere where the white touches, I'm going to do a brown. I think black would just be a little too harsh, so I'm just using a brown. Okay, looks a little better. It needed something. Just define the borders. There we go. Thanks. I try my best. Just years of practice, really. Years and years and years, and many thousands of hours. If you paint every day, you can get this good. Or maybe even better. But, yeah. Okay. I have to just fix a little of my indiscretions right here. But a good dark border really helps give anything depth. It gives a bit of a shadow. It makes it a little more cartoony looking, but it does really help. Okay. I'm also just going to go and just do a bit of brown in this, and just going to define where that guy's the links are, the cuff, whatever that part is. Will it be a chibi or will it be a...
That's the brown zero forge.
Oh yes, that one. Can be good. He's the bard with a fireplace. Okay. Okay. So let's work on his black parts, I guess. So his belt. So the belt is going to be black and... oh, I didn't notice. Okay, let me just, before I do that, maybe finish up his brown parts, because I didn't do his hat strap. Very important. Doing all the parts of a mini. Okay. Is my camera a little off? It feels like it. Okay. Let's see if I can... There we go. A little better. I can see more of my pretty face. No. You can see me eat my paint more. That's about it. Okay. Just gonna again on the tip, the front and the back. I'm just gonna make it a little more brighter than the rest. And then just a little more bright in the front. I'm sure he's looking into the light. And now I'm going to give it a black border. I'll give it some depth. Okay. And the trickier bit is the in part right here. Nope. A little too much. But it really depends on what you want to do, because if the chibi model is very cartoony, because you can give it very dark, very bold shadows and lines, and it'll make it look good too. I ruined my lighter blending. God damn it. I have to go back and make it a little better. Let's see. Good enough. Alright. He's got a hat. It's almost done. I'll do it the same time as the cards. The side card as well as the top card. So that's one of the last things I'm going to do. Let's do his hair now. So the hair says I'm going to do more white because it's a pure white. Not the creamy kind of white I was using for the other part. So, let's see. Let's get a fatter brush for this one. Okay. I'm just gonna make some hair streaks. And I guess I'm gonna make his sideburns just more like not like a mustache hair, but like sideburns. Because sideburns are sorry, more like not like sideburns, but like when your hair grows long down the side. The sideburns would be like very like wiry, you might say, and so he's more like a simpler kind of straight hair. If you guys understand what I'm saying. Okay. More white. Getting that hair texture. Otherwise the hairs look very boring. Okay. Make it a little less uniform. I might, just so it looks more interesting. I always have terrible and to make it always uniform. It looks kind of boring and robotic. Which is be good for the next guys I do, because they're robots, but for fleshies like these guys, they need to be a little more interesting. Okay. Let's go back to the brown and maybe give it more saturation. Just a thin coat of this umber. And I'm going to darken it with some black. Kind of blends it all together this way. So I think the white was a little too much of a highlight. Or too bright. So I'm going to darken it here. And almost bring it almost to a black with my other shades. Okay, hour in, it's not too bad. I'm gonna do the flesh, the gun, and I guess his holster. Plus his mustache, gonna have to do that all separately.
Have a nice time. No Thursday stream this week, but we will be back Friday at 6.
Yeah, we're gonna be out and about on Thursday. But yeah, see you Friday, hopefully, if you're not too busy. Let's see. Let's just do a little black, a little mix of black and brown, and just do some more hair. You know, I like to say it once in a while just to show that off that I'm actually Canadian, not American.
Have a good night.
Yes. Have a good one. And I think the hair is done now. Just give it a little more depth. Maybe some darker streaks. Good night. Have a good one, Zulu. I'm just calling you Papa. Don't say that. Alright. So, let's do the flesh, but I need more room for that, so I'm just going to get rid of that and get a new sheet going. He's like very dark fleshed compared to other chibi models on the Rail Raiders. So I'm gonna maybe do this calcite flesh as the lightest flesh, and then darken it with some bloodstone brown. He's very tan. It's like a very saturated tan color, so it's kind of quite different from the rest of the chibis, which are very pale. I guess he's like Mexican or something, since it's a Western style game. It looks like he has gloves on the concept art, but on the model it doesn't really. He's got like fingerless gloves, so I'm just gonna make it all flesh, just because it's harder to make it look like something when it's so, the detail's so soft. So I'm just gonna make it one color. Okay. Otherwise it just looks way too busy, I think. So I'm making an executive decision of making it one color. Make it simpler. Just because it's, you know, the chibi model and they're very simple. They're not supposed to be very complex. Like pretty much any kind of cartoon. So there's the base coat for the flesh now. While that's drying, I'm gonna go work on the non-metallic bits, like his buckles and stuff. I think that's all the metal bits he has. I guess he got little buttons on his I guess, I don't know, little pouches on his belt. Alright, so now we need some sulfuric yellow. And it makes a nice, warm, non-metallic gold, I find. With the right combination. Let's go some pure sulfuric yellow, and maybe even some white afterwards, depending on how it looks like right now. Okay, I'm gonna use a smaller brush. My number 4 brush is a little too old. Its tip hasn't going. I've used and abused it too much, so I'm gonna go a newer number 2 brush. Okay. Okay, now a little bit of white just to give it perfect shine. Mix of yellow and white. I don't want to do pure white. I really want to do pure white, so. There we go. I think that's good enough. And maybe just a little bit of this just to blend it a bit more. Trick with metal, like non-metallic metals, have a nice contrast. There we go. Okay, close enough. So back to the flesh. Maybe one more base coat, so everything's not streaky. Okay. Now while that's drying, I gotta figure out something else to do. Let's do the black on his gun holster. So this is just what is this color? Crick's Bane highlight. Can't forget his little strap on his leg. And I'm also going to do one more highlight on this. It's going to be pure Crixbane highlight. Because this one layer had a little bit of black in it. Just for the most raised areas. And the edges and stuff. There we go. It's not the greatest definition there. The miniature is a little quite soft, the details, so I'm just going to go back and just give it a little bit of black borders just to define things a little easier. It makes things always look 10 times nicer when you do a black border, for the most part. Or some way of giving it a nice clean boundary. There we go. Oh, that's right. And also these pouches, I forgot to do that. There we go. Much more pouch-like. Okay, so let's get some of this bloodstone and do a little bit of shading on his face and the rest of his body. Anyway, looking much better now. Much healthier. Okay. Once his blending is done, I'm going to go and maybe give him a little more highlighting on his face. Just on some very strategic points. Let's give it like a little bit of shine, I guess you might say. It always helps to give him a little bit of, because skin is relatively shiny, especially if you're like desert, right? You're all sweaty and stuff. So. A little bit of lighter flesh, a little pinker on this one part, mainly around the cheekbones basically, and maybe even the nose. And of course the top of the ears is very important. And then the guy's knuckles. Oh, he's got 2 fingers holding it up. Oh, that's why it looks funny. It's like either one misshapen finger or 2 fingers. It was 2. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna blend it back down with the darker flesh. Maybe go back and re-highlight some areas. It's needs a bit more contrast. Maybe even darken it actually some areas. I don't know. Should I go darker or lighter? I'm just thinking what should I do. Let's go lighter on the raised areas, like his knuckles, to give it, just define the details a bit more. Let's do a combination of Cossite and Midland flesh. Maybe you can do a better blending job. Especially around the eyes. Okay, that's not bad. Let me just do a little bit around his mouth. Don't actually have any lips, so I'm just going to give it a little brighter where the light is hitting it. Oh, he has teeth, though. He's got his teeth, pearly white, showing up. Okay, let's do the black of his mouth, and then the white. Let's also black out his areas of his eyes. Nice defining border on his eyes. It's great for miniatures, or great for actually any kind of miniatures, including chippies or more realistic ones. It really helps. Big bushy eyebrows too. Okay. So, majority of the flesh is done. I'm just going to trim up the edges with some of that dark brown where the hair meets the flesh. And also some of the texture in this guy's hands. Okay. So let's just touch up the guy's hair and then I'll do the eyes. Here we go. So just gonna make sure nice smooth border between the flesh and the hair. And maybe a little bit touching up on the flesh, not flesh, the fur. The hair, whatever. The face fur. Whoops. And don't overpaint. I'll save you a lot of heartache. Just gonna redefine this guy's mustache. His glorious curly mustache. Alright. It was a bit like a Wario or something. Wario, Evil Mario. That mustache and that purple. What was it? Was Wario yellow or purple? Was it Waluigi?
Yellow and purple.
Waluigi was he pure purple? Yeah, he's pure purple. But like he's got like a purple, like mostly purple. Okay. Okay. He looks creepy with those black eyes.
We reached the terrifying stage of this miniature.
Let's do his teeth. Let's make him extra terrifying. Bright pearly teeth. And then... Okay. There we go.
Oh yeah, we're just leveling up the horror here.
Extra happy. Okay. Well, I actually need that white. Never mind. Let me just go back and...
Just gonna leave the eyes black for forever.
Yes. Well, he actually has green eyes. Dark green eyes, so... You can make him dark green eyes forever if you want. Oh no. I gummed up that guy's black border on his eye a little bit. I have to go back and touch it up. Boy. Okay, at least that side's okay. 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 Actually wasn't too bad. Okay, one more touch up on the white. The cat?
Well, because now you're over your logo, so you can't see what you're doing.
Oh, sorry. Yes. Gotta remember the cat. All the time. It's all about the cat. Thanks, cat. Okay. No. Okay, let's see if I can fix that. Something to do with the angle always makes me overpaint that one part. Okay, a little better. Okay, So I'm going to let's do the eyes first before I touch up all the hair. And it's on to I guess the gun and the cards. Okay. I'm just gonna block out where the eyes are gonna be with some black. And add the green. It's kind of like an olive green as eyes, so make it actually very creepy right now. He's got white eyes now. He's like a...
It's less creepy than it was.
I don't know. It's pretty scary looking. He's looking at your soul. Anyway, so I don't actually have a green out. There we go. Let's do worm green. It's a little warmer. It's more yellow than my other olive green. Green, not green. There's no M in green. Green. Okay.
Can you tilt a little more because this hat runs it off the camera? There you go.
Okay. Now for a little bit of shading. Okay, let's use mixing medium too for this part. Basically apply some wet mixing medium to the whole eye and then blend it from there. Provided the eye is fully dry though, before you apply the medium. Let's try without the medium this time. Okay, let's try a little more black. Sorry. And then let's go back and just reclaim a bit of this yellow or orange or whatever color I'm currently using. It may or may not have an M in it. Okay. And I'm just gonna touch those pupils again. Probably go for a little lighter color on the bottom. So let's go for a little white and whatever yellow it is. Okay. Just underneath the pupil. I'm gonna do a little lighter spot. Okay, now the important part, which is white speck. There we go. I think that's okay. So let's do the hair now. Let's just touch that up because I didn't do his mustache. And the mustache is very important. It's like the most predominant feature on his face. And there we go. Nice friendly mustache. Okay, and then the lips, I just didn't, a little black spot on his lips I'm going to touch up. Okay, so gun and cards are the most important features to do currently. So I'm going to use the same color as his vest for the cards, just because I can touch up anything else I want to do on his vest, or his undercoat or undershirt. So, and they're not really close to each other, it's easy to do that. If they're like touching each other, I would have probably gone for a different color scheme. But since they're not, since there's a border between like the sleeve and the guy's card, there's a hand right there. You don't need to really have a difference. There's a clear difference between the two. That's what I'm trying to say. Alright. I'm also going to make the cards a little darker, I think, than the guy's sleeve. Or he has sleeves. I'm just gonna maybe make his nose a little brighter, more noticeable. It's kind of... It's a little too flat in his face. Okay.
a shirt for you, the one in pink and blue one.
Oh yeah? What is it?
It's pink and blue one. It's on half off.
Okay. I do like my polo shirts. Alright.
They're all on half off, so I picked them up for you.
So his gun is very dark, so I'm going to do a combination of black and Cricksbane and highlights. And I'm going to highlight from there. Make sure I don't start painting under his chin. Give him an unintentional 5 o'clock shadow. I don't want that. Okay. Good enough. That's an noise of seeing white spots I don't want to have. Alright. Good enough. Okay. Let me just do his little toes before I forget. Black booties. I'm just going to do a bit of a black border around his hat and his head. I think it'll help it. There we go. I think that's a little better. All right. A little bit of white primer showing up on his ear, apparently I missed. There we go. And then a little bit of brown I missed on his neck or collar. Looks like I overpainted with the flesh, so I'm just going to define that collar a bit more. There we go. Nice solid border between flesh and the white. There we go. Much better, at least to my eyes. Okay. 20 minutes left. Should be fine. The card should be dry by now, so I'm going to just do some white. There we go. I'm going to do the edges first. Do all the edges, so by the time I go back to the first one, it's be dry. Okay. Now let's thin up this white a bit, and then just do a bit of blending. A little bit on the back too. And then now for these ones right here. It's always good to do 2 coats, so I'm just going to do a second coat on this, all the cards. I might even do a third depending on how white I want it. White's notoriously hard to make it nice and smooth, so more is always better. And let's actually, while it's dry, I'm just going to do a little more white on the guys, on his sleeves and stuff. Now I've done all the other materials, looks a little dark. I want to make it more white, clean. There. It's a little too gray for my liking, so I'm going to brighten it up a bit. There we go. Alright. Now, that should be dry. I can do a last, final, hopefully, fingers crossed, coat on the card, but it may not be the case. Or I just give it a weird texture, it's fine. I maybe keep the texture on it. Looks like a used playing card. Okay. I was going to touch up his spats, they're called, something on his boots. Make him look more white. There we go. Little spots of pure white, just on the edges and trim and stuff like that. Make it look a little more interesting. And maybe a black border between his red and the white here. Give it some depth. Because I'm sure these white things come underneath the boot, so it's more like a shadow. Plus black borders kind of make it look more cartoony too. Since these are chippy. The more cartoony the better. Okay, let's do a little darkening here. Let's tilt that red again. Actually, let's go for a brighter red on this card. Because concept art actually has him with a brighter card, a brighter red on the card. It probably doesn't have the spade on his hand. That was more flashy than diamonds. It's always like the ace of spades, not the ace of diamonds. And then let's do some white. Put a little lighter specks on each of the four corners. Kind of helps. Okay, and just the spade is nice and black, so it's easy. And I'm just going to do a black border between the hat and the card. Alright, that's basically the cards done. I'm actually take a little bit of gray and just do a little bit of streak. There we go. That looks a little nicer. Hard to tell because it's so tiny and it's got a bit of shine to it, but it looks better on the ace anyway. So let's maybe take some of this brown and then just put a border around this guy's fingers, because unfortunately that gray and that flesh color is almost the same tone or lightness, so kind of blend together. So now I'm just going to give it a really define each individual finger. Kind of adds a lot to this guy, I think. And then there we go. Alright, I think the last step is the gun now, and I've got 11 minutes or so to do that if I want. Do it in the time frame that I set up for myself. Touch-ups and stuff like that do off stream, make that like this right here, a little gum up. I'll just do it off stream. I'll leave that black for now. Okay, so the gun was a Crickspain highlight, so let's go to pure Crickspain highlight now, because that was a black combination of black, wasn't it, before? So let's just get all the highlights done. Oops, sorry. A little off camera. See me? Alright. Let's add a little more white, and then do another highlight. I'm gonna go for a more smaller brush for this one. My number 4 brush size is just a little too big. And go back and just black and just define things a bit better. It's a little too muddy for my taste right now. Not too bad though. Go back to black, go back to black, and then it's just more contrast. Always makes it look more non-metallic looking. Plus in the art it looks kind of dark anyway, like a black shiny gun. It's good to have the barrels are circular, not oblong. No one wants oblong barrels. Okay. It's a little darker, but now it's a little muddier now. I got 5 minutes to play around with it if I want. Let's see. Maybe let's go back with the lighter color and just do some really extreme highlights. Just crispen up some parts. Alright, let's do that. So, quick spading, highlight, and some more white. Take my nice thin brush and just do some edge highlighting. Not that great. So it looks a little too muddy. For my taste anyway, so let's... maybe do a little more lighter color. A little better. Okay. Alright, that's not too bad. Not perfect, but it's not bad. Let's see, let's just maybe define this part a little better. It's hard to tell what it is sometimes, so I'm just gonna make it what I want it to be. Okay. I think that's it for tonight. He's not too bad. Just pretty much got everything except for like the screw up I did there. Oh, and his ponytail little thing. I'm not too worried about that. Actually, let's define this a little better. There we go. Much better in the belt region. There we go. He's a very happy card player. I'm happy with that result. Alright. Thank you so much for watching, and see you guys Friday. Alright. Have a good one.